Hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to Heretic Dave 40k, and this is my Astra Militarum or The Guard Son Index review. If you do like this content, feel free to hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm doing battle reports pretty much every week, and then I'll do reviews and things occasionally as well. And if you want to support me further, you can also become a YouTube channel member. So yes, the Imperial Guard Index review for 10th edition. Let's go right into it. So the army rule is the voice of command. This is where you do orders and things. This has been a thing for the Guard for a very long time. Essentially, officers can order units. Now, rather than having different orders for different types of officers, you now just get one set of orders, so keeping it nice and simple there. And they are orders which apply to all types of units, which is actually quite handy. The officer data sheets will specify how many orders they can issue and what they can issue those orders to, and so on. An officer can order one unit within 6 inches. I think the Master Vox of the command squad can extend that range as normal, and the order is done in your command phase, and it's in effect until the next command phase, I believe, till the start of your next command phase. Yes, so you do them in your command phase, it's in place until your next command phase. So the orders, what have we got here now? We have move. It's an old classic. It's not as good as it was in 8th edition, but it's still pretty handy. Movement does win games. An extra 3 inch to the movement characteristic. Okay, it's nice, a nice thing to have. But to be honest, I don't think many people will be using that very often. Fixed bayonets, improve the weapon skill, and the AP for combat. That could be handy, I guess, on Catachans maybe. Because, you know, they'll be hitting on 3 Zenith Strength 4 and AP 2 on the charge. But to be honest, you don't really want to be in combat with Guard. But it's nice. Take aim. This is the one you want to be doing on pretty much every unit, every turn. With the ballistic skill characteristic, note that is the ballistic skill characteristic that's been increased, not +1 to hit. So you can increase the ballistic skill on something to a 3+ instead of a 4+, and then if you give it +1 to hit by some other means, let's say a heavy weapon, you can actually get to hitting on 2s with Guard now. Which sounds hilarious. So yeah, improved ballistic skill characteristic for a unit. So that's very good. First rank fire, second rank fire. It sounds better than it actually is. It just improves the attacks characteristic of rapid fire weapons by 1. So las guns would be, 2 shots. Standard. Improve the attacks characteristic of rapid fire weapons. So it's not even increasing the rapid fire, it's just increasing the number of shots to start with. So a las gun, instead of having 1 shot on rapid fire 1, so you get an extra shot at half range, it'll be 2 shots rapid fire 1 to be 3 shots at half range, I guess. Not amazing. It's nice, I guess, if you got lots of plasma guns, you want to get more shots off with, maybe. Okay, but yeah, just +1 hit is just better. Or +1 ballistic skill, rather. Take cover. This one could be very handy if you've got a unit camped on an objective and you just need it to survive and it's just sitting at the back not doing anything. Improve the save characteristic by 1, but it can't be improved by more than a 3+. But to be honest, you can stack this with, I think it's go to ground, the core rulebook stratagem, and you could get guardsmen from a 5 up to a 3+. Pretty effectively. I mean, that's nice if you've got a unit of guardsmen sitting at the back behind a wall without really, way of doing any damage, but just you want them to survive, tell them to take cover, could be handy. Duty and honour, improve the leadership, which is nice, but objective control characteristics in models of this unit by 1. So if you want to go and nick an objective with a unit, and your unit's not going to kill anything, but if you've just got a couple of guardsmen, let's say, and the opponent's got an objective, just give them an extra OC characteristic and run them onto the objective. They don't have to do anything. They'll just nick the objective. So that can be very handy as well. So yeah, some interesting options there with the orders. The detachment rule that we have at the moment is if you stay still, you get lethal hits, which is nice. 6s to hit, auto wound. So it's like before, but now you need to remain stationary to get it. So if your mobile Lehman Russes, this isn't going to be coming into effect as often. But things like artillery, so your basilisks, your manticores, your mortar teams, your field bombast cannon teams, these guys just sitting at the back that don't need line of sight, and therefore they can remain stationary. They will get 6s to hit, auto wound. So it's still very good. But it's not as powerful as it once was. That you need to remain stationary now. But yeah, still good. Still good in my opinion. It makes artillery better. The enhancements you can get. Let's run through these quickly. So we have the Dusk Mask of Oleanos, or Olenios, or whatever you want to call it. It's for an officer. While the bearer's unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from the OC characteristic instead of changing it to 0. So essentially, if you've got an officer or a platoon command squad with an infantry squad sitting at the back on your home objective, and you know the opponent's got some indirect fire and they're shelling you and battle shocking you somehow with, I don't know, for example, the Death Guard mortars from the Plague Burst Crawlers. Instead of you just not being able to control that objective, you still at least get some OC control of it. That can be very handy. Because the last thing you want is your unit at the back sitting on the home objective being battle shot, and then you're not controlling your home objective in your turn. So that could be very handy. Okay. Drill Commander. Officer model only. While leading a unit, if it remains stationary, you get 6 critical hits on 5+. So essentially, the officer's unit will get 5s and 6s for your lethal hits if you stay still rather than just 6s. Very nice. But again, it's only if you remain stationary, so it's only really if you join a unit. So yeah, okay. What sort of things is an officer going to join that's going to want to stay stationary? Not so sure. Kurov's Aquila. Officer model only again. Once per battle, just after your opponent uses a stratagem, you can increase the cost of that stratagem by 1. So we've seen this a few times with abilities and things across the 10th indexes. For guard, it's an enhancement, and you can just slap it on your officer. That's a nice one to have if you've got the point spare. Just make an officer sit at the back, just debuff one of your opponent's stratagems. That's quite good. Grand Strategist. This is the one I would have every single game. Make one of your officers issue an additional order. Me personally, I would slap this on a tank commander. Go, there you go, tank commander. You can now issue 2 vehicles to get +1 ballistic skill. Yes, that's what I'd be doing. Okay, let's go through the stratagems. First one, reinforcements. This is a good one. It is 2 CP though. But if one of your regiment units has been destroyed, essentially it just comes back at its starting strength. The characters and attached units don't return, but the actual unit itself does. So if you're running 20-man infantry squads, 2 CP essentially during the game, you get an extra 20-man infantry squad. That's quite nice. I mean, it is 2 CP. Will you have better things to spend 2 CP on? Yeah, maybe. But if you're running full infantry, it could be very handy. Suppression fire. This one's quite nice. 1 CP. Target one of your infantry units. Essentially, when it shoots something, if your unit scores at least 1 hit against that enemy unit until the end of your opponent's next turn, a model in that enemy unit has -1 to hit. So it's excluding monsters and vehicles, but if someone's got some Hellblasters, for example, you can just shoot an Asgard at these Hellblasters. You don't even have to wound or kill anything, just hit one of them. Those Hellblasters then get -1 to hit. It's very handy if someone's got 1 killy unit, and you can just, I'll just suppress it for a CP. Cool. That's really good. Fields of Fire. Again, it's a good one, but it's 2 CP. In your shooting phase, select 1 regiment or squadron unit. After your unit has resolved its attacks, select an enemy that was targeted by one or more of those attacks. Not even hit, but targeted. Until the end of that phase, each time an attack is made against that enemy unit by another regiment or squadron model, improve the AP by 1. Really, really powerful. 2 CP. You don't even have to hit an enemy unit. You just got to target it. Everything else that shoots it then gets an extra AP. But yeah, it is 2 CP. So, okay. But again, if someone's got one big unit that you want to kill, and you could suppress fire it and debuff it, or you could try and kill it, spend an extra CP to get that extra AP and just put absolutely everything into that unit. That could be very, very powerful. Expert Bombardiers. This is probably one I'm going to be using every single shooting phase. One Astra Militarum unit from your army equipped with a Voxcaster, and one enemy unit that is visible to that unit until the end of the phase. Each time an Astra Militarum model from your army makes an attack with an indirect fire weapon that targets that enemy unit, unless the attacking model is battle shot, get +1 to hit. So yeah, you got some I don't know, Gachan scouts maybe with Voxcasters running around. Oh, I can see that enemy now because I was in a Chimera and zoomed around the backfield and disembarked from my Chimera, and then I can see that unit. My Basilisk is now going to shell it for 1 CP, and yes, it gets indirect fire nerf, which is -1 hit and they gain cover, but now it's getting +1 hit, so it cancels out the indirect fire nerf, with the exception of them still getting cover, although there are ways of getting rid of cover and things as well, and most units that are sort of hidden out of line of sight half the time are getting the benefits of cover anyway. Especially when you think about that fact that benefits of cover is really easy to get now. You get the benefit of cover not just if you're in cover, but if you're not fully visible, because of a terrain feature, you get +1 T save as well. So it's very difficult to actually counter cover, but just countering the -1 hit from indirect fire is very nice, and getting +1 hit on on pretty much anything that targets that unit of indirect fire thing. So it's not even just one Basilisk. You've got 3 Basilisks that'll be getting +1 hit against that unit. So that's very, very good if you like artillery. And bearing in mind that your artillery will get 6 to hit auto wound if they stay still, because they will be staying still because they're artillery. This is very good. Inspired command. In your opponent's command phase, one of your officers can issue an order. What sort of order could you perhaps do that might be useful? Oh, take cover. I believe it was called take cover, the one that gives you pluses to your saves. Let's have a quick look and scroll back up here. Take cover. Improve the save characteristics. Yeah, there you go. For a CP in your opponent's command phase, you can make one of your units take cover. So basically at the end of your turn, as soon as they start their turn, you can think, right, I know that my unit on this middle objective is going to get shot to pieces. I'll spend a CP in order to take cover. So yeah, that could be really good. Armoured Might, again, it's a really good one, but it is 2 CP. All the really good ones for Guard are 2 CP, really, with the exception of Expert Bombardiers. But 2 CP in your opponent's shooting phase after they've targeted one of your units. Pick one of your vehicles that's been targeted, and you get -1 damage on it. Now, that's big because lots of things in 10th don't have -1 damage anymore. -1 damage is very, very rare now. For 2 CP, you can give one of your vehicles -1 damage, and it's not, restricted to certain vehicles. You could do it on your Chimera, you could do it on your Lehman Russ, you could do it on your Rogal Dawn and your Baneblade, and it's all just 2 CP across the board. So you can make one of your big tanks very, very difficult to kill. If they're starting to shoot a bunch of Hellblasters at your Lehman Russ, you can go, oh, I've got 2 CP. Your Hellblasters are damaged too. Oh, I'll make them more damage while I'm half your efficiency for 2 CP. Well, that's very, very good. Okay, moving on to data sheets now. We have Lord Solar Horseface Man, Leontus. I don't think he's quite as good as he was in 9th, but he's still pretty good. He's still quick, movement 12, toughness 4, frip save, 8 wounds. He's still pretty difficult to kill. He's got a little pistol which is quite good at 2 attacks, hit on 2, strength 8, -2 damage. That's pretty good. He's got his Conquest, which is essentially a sword. Again, that's pretty much the same profile as his pistol, except for it's strength 6 and not strength 8, but it does have 6 attacks, so that's very nice. And then you get some extra attacks with the horse as well. Very nice, very nice. For as far as guard characters go, that is a very, very good stat line. He gets Voice of Command, and he can issue free orders to Astra Militarum units. We can order anything. Infantry, tanks, you name it, he can order it. Up to 3 orders to Astra Militarum units. So that means if he really wanted to, because the actual orders themselves aren't restricted, he could order things like Bulgrins, Ratlins, I think. Assuming they also have the Voice of Command faction ability. We'll have to check that later on, but you can order pretty much whatever's allowed to be ordered. So that's really good. And you can also do 3 orders. That's very nice. In addition, at the start of your command phase, you get extra CP if he's on the battlefield. So that's you could take him just purely for that in the orders, to be honest. Never mind the fact he's actually quite killy. And also, after both players have deployed, you can do a redeploy and redeploy up to 3 units and put some in reserves if you wish. It's after both armies have deployed and not at the start of the first battle round, so it's not massively effective, but it's a nice thing to have. And of course, he has a 4+ invulnerable save. Okay, that's him. That's nice. What can he lead? Pretty much every infantry squad you can think of, plus some Rough Riders, because of course he's on a horse. So that makes sense. So that's quite good. Ursula Creed. Yeah, typical sort of stat line for a guard officer, really. Got a little pistol with 4 attacks. Okay, I think it's essentially like a hot shot last pistol type thing. It's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. But you know, you don't really get her to kill things. You get her for her abilities and things. She can order 2 orders to regiment units, so they're your infantry mostly, and I think sentinels are regiment as well. She can join units while she's leading a unit. That unit can be affected by 2 orders at the same time, so essentially she can order her unit to do 2 things if she really wants to. So that's nice. Once per battle round, 1 unit from your army within 12 inches can be targeted with an extra stratagem for 0 CP, even if it's already been used, because she's a tactical genius. A bit like me, to be honest. But yeah, okay, she's quite good. She's quite good. Okay, let's go down. She can lead Cadians, infantry, or Kazakin. Yeah, I mean, I'd put her in a unit Kazakin. Cadian Castellans. They're like Ursula Creed, but different weapon loadouts. And they can only order 1 order to regiment units rather than 2. While they're in a unit, they get sustained hits 1 on ranged attacks, so they get exploding 6 to hit on ranged attacks. That's quite nice. And they can get back in the fight, so they can fall back and shoot, which is nice, very nice. And they can lead Cadians, infantry, or Kazakin. So Kazakin falling back and shooting. I mean, that would be quite nice. And get exploding 6s. I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? That's quite nice. Tank Commander. Movement 10, toughness 11, 2-up save, and 13 wounds. So the toughness have gone up from 8 to 11, which is nice. Melters and things when I wound this on 5s. Lots of other big guns will also wound this on 5s, it being toughness 11. Las Cannons will still wound it on 3s, because Las Cannons have got strength 12, but 10th edition is Las Cannon meta, and Guard can bring plenty of Las Cannons, so I wouldn't worry about that. But toughness 11, very nice. One thing to notice, you can obviously have all the guns and things on a tank commander that any battle tank can have, but all the ballistic skills are 4+. No 3+ for the turret, no +1 hit for the turret, nothing. That has gone. Turret weapon has gone. All battle tanks now, including tank commander, just hit things on 4s. Obviously you can order them to take aim and hit on 3s, but you cannot order a tank commander. They are not squadron or regiment. So essentially tank commanders will just be a battle tank that can just make your other battle tanks better than himself, which is a bit odd, but okay, fine. I'd still take one just purely to order other tanks. I'd maybe even take two if you're running lots of mechanised vehicles. But don't take them to kill things, take them to make other things kill things. So essentially you give them the weapons that aren't the best weapons. Obviously weapons are free now anyway, so you could do. Me personally, I'm thinking about giving a tank commander just a battle cannon, just to sit at the back, blast things from a distance, and order my artillery. That's my idea. But you could give one a demolisher and just zoom it down the battlefield, and order your other demolishers, I guess, because demolisher cannons are definitely a thing. But yeah, tank commander, okay. It can issue an order to a unit that is 12 inches away. That's good because vehicles are going to be further apart. 6 inches for ordering a vehicle is not very good. And obviously if you give this guy the enhancement so it can order an additional thing, you then go to ordering 2 things, because by standard they can only do 1 order, 2 squadron units. So you're paying a lot of points for a tank commander, pay a little bit more for an enhancement, make it issue 2 orders. That's what I would do. And then just keep this tank alive to make your other tanks better. It's got the smoke keyword, so you can make it -1 hit and get benefit of cover, which is very nice. On something that's toughness 11 and another 2 up save. That's very nice. Death befitting an officer, though. When he is destroyed on a 2+, it can shoot. So before they die, roll a dice. If it's a 2 up, even if it blows up, this is on a 2 up, it can shoot. So you can shoot all of its guns as if it's your shooting phase, and as if he had his 4 wounds remaining. So that's nice. You get an extra shooting phase out of him if he dies. So that's quite nice. The platoon command squad. So this is your commander and his veterans. They'll have a 4+ ballistic skill as well. Ballistic skill seems to have gone down for most things, to be honest, in 10th for guard, as well as not getting 6's auto wounds. So orders is what's going to make the guard tick now. Command structure. While a friendly platoon unit is within 6 inches of this platoon commander, you can target that unit with stratagems even if it's battle shot. That's very, very good, because guard leadership is not that great. So yeah, being able to still use stratagems on your infantry if it's battle shot is very, very good. War gear abilities, you want to give it a Master Vox, because then you can order things 24 inches away. Medipack, you want to give it a Medipack, because then the unit gets a 6 up, feel no pain. And if you can put a platoon command squad inside a unit of 20 infantry, so then you've got 20 infantry plus the command squad, all with a 6 up, feel no pain. You want to do that. And you probably want to give it a standard as well, to give +1 to its objective control characteristics. So then you've got a massive unit of infantry with an extra OC value. Very nice. Very nice. Or you could just give them maybe a mortar instead. You have a Master Vox, a Medipack and a mortar team. And just sit on a home objective and just launch things. It depends what you want to do. If you want to sit at the back or whether you want to run forwards. But yeah, some good abilities there. And they can issue 1 order to a regiment unit. Okay, platoon command squad, what can it join? It can join Katachan jungle fighters, Death Corps or Krieg, or infantry squads. It cannot join Cadian squads, because there is such a thing as a Cadian command squad, which is essentially exactly the same, except for it can join just Cadian squads, Cadian shock troopers. But there is a slight difference in terms of its abilities and things. It has something called Cadia stands. Even though the heretic in me knows that Cadia doesn't stand, Abaddon dealt with that. That's history. But Imperial propaganda is definitely a thing. While this unit contains a Canadian officer, Canadian officer, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the characteristics and models in this unit and do any roll or test made. So that's really good. If you get any hit modifiers, leadership modifiers, anything like that, you don't care. The only modifiers you can take for this unit is saving throws, so that's really good. Other than that, the war gear abilities are exactly the same, and yes, it can still only order 1 unit. So it's the same as the other one, but instead of having being able to order things, give stratagems to things that are battle shot, instead you ignore modifiers. There's a slight difference there. That's nice. Okay. Iron Hands Strachan. It's Arnie himself, and he is still a bit of a beast. He's gone down from T4 to T3. But he can now join units, so that doesn't really matter. because even if precision's used, you're still wounding against the toughness 3 of the unit anyway, so that doesn't make a massive difference. Still got a 3-up save, got 4 wounds and a 4+ invulnerable save, so he's quite resilient as far as a guardsman goes. He's still got his pistol, his shotgun, and his bionic arm. And he's now got a 4+ auto wounding on monsters, which is nice, makes sense, goes with his lore and things, that's very nice. He has 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, that's strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage, so he's still a bit of a beast in combat as far as guardsmen go. And if he joins a unit of Catachans, which you'd want him to do, then you'll get your Catachan ability as well, which I believe is extra strength and extra AP on the charge, so then he'd be strength 7, AP 3, very tasty. So that's that, and I think you can fix bayonets. Does fix bayonets improve AP as well, or is that just +1 weapon skill? Let's double check that, because that would be fun. Just weapon skill, yeah, but he's already hit on 2s anyway. You can't have a weapon skill of 1+, that would be silly, but okay, where is he? Here he is. Okay, so he is a leader. He can join units of Catachan jungle fighters. Obviously, he's the colonel of the Catachans. He's got scout 6 inches, same as the units of jungle fighters, so he can get a scout move as well. Very nice. Abilities: cold steel and courage. While he's leading a unit, models in that unit get lethal hits in combat. So he says hit auto wound, and obviously that will include him because he will be part of the unit. So that is very nice. And then been there, seen it, kill it. Each time model makes a melee attack. If it's charged, you can reroll the hit and the wound. That combined with lethal hits and the extra AP from being Catachans and charging turns this guy into a bit of a monster, because those 6 attacks pretty much will all hit and wound, and then you'll have 6 attacks at AP 3 damage 2 going through. That's pretty tasty. He can also order 2 orders. Obviously he hasn't got a Master Vox or anything, so it'll be ordering units within 6 inches of him, so that'll be his unit and another unit nearby basically. And knowing him, you'd probably want to tell him to fix bayonets, because he's tracking, right? So that's nice. You get a Primaris Psyker. So not just the Space Marines have Primaris things. The Astra Militarum have always had a Primaris thing. He's called a Psyker, although he's just a human. He's got a las pistol, big whoop. He's got his Psychic Maelstrom, which is his Witchfire. That's his smite, basically. That they both do devastating wounds. One has an extra damage and more attacks, but obviously hazardous. So that's sort of standard, really, for sort of pseudo smites. He's got his 4-staff. He can lead units, which is nice. The unit he's leading can get a 4-up feel no pain against psychic attacks, so that's quite nice. And also at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, you can roll a dice. You get a 1, he takes mortal wounds, but anything other than a 1, his unit's models then get a 4+ invulnerable save, which again sounds really good. You know, you can imagine this guy with Borgrin or something getting a field of pain against psychic attacks, giving him a 4+ invulnerable save, or something like that. And then you find out he can only lead your bog standard infantry. Brilliant. Why would you want to give a unit of 20 infantry a 4+ invulnerable save? Like, they're still toughness 3. What is the point? But okay, fine. Yeah, you mean you can also join Kazakin and Scions, I guess, but again, they're only toughness 3 infantry. They'll fall over anyway. Probably not. I mean, it's a nice thing to have, but it's not amazing. Same with the Feel No Pain for Psychic Attack. It's nice, but it's not amazing. His Witchfire is nice, but not amazing. If you've got points left over, maybe, but I wouldn't bother. Gaunt's Ghosts. You get Ibram Gaunt and you got Tanith Ghosts. They've all got some more simplified profiles now, which is nice. Some of them hit on 3s, some of them hit on 2s, which is nice. It's nice that, you know, because they are pretty elite guys, these chaps. They get Fight First, which is amazing. They can infiltrate, which is amazing. They also get Lone Operative, so you can't shoot the unit if they're not within 12 inches, which is amazing. They're also -1 hit. It must be something about these cloaks these guys wear, these nice camo cloaks. The officer, Ibram Gaunt, can issue 2 orders. 5 regiment or Gaunt's Ghost units. So he can obviously order his own unit and another unit, which is nice. Tanif Camo Clicks. Each time a ranged attack targets this unit, you get the benefits of cover. Very nice. And Covert Stealth Team. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range, you can remove it from the battlefield and put it back in the reinforcement step of your next movement phase. So they can disappear and come back again, so they can reposition. Very good little unit, this. I like this. Very nice. Okay. Regimental Attaches. Don't care about their data sheet or their weapons. What you care about are their abilities. What have we got here? We got the Artillery Commander. Now, at the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 30 inches invisible to the Master of Ordnance model. Until the end of the phase, blast weapons, equipped by Astra Militarum Infantry model, have sustained hits 1. Blast weapons by artillery. Isn't all artillery blast, or have I missed something? Have sustained hits 1. I mean, that's nice, but it's got to be something within 30 inches of him and visible to him. Most of the time you're going to have your artillery shooting things that you can't see with anything, because that's the whole point of artillery. So it's a nice to have, but it's not particularly amazing, but okay. Aeronautical Commander. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 30 inches of and visible to this unit's officer of the fleet model. Till the end of the phase, each time an aircraft makes a model ranged attack against that unit +1 hit. That's nice. You can have your Valkyrie come in. He can point at something within 30 inches invisible, and then your Valkyrie gets +1 hit. That's nice. That's nice. But again, it is only a Valkyrie or something, so it's not going to be amazing. Divination, Psychic. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of this unit's Astropath model. That's probably the best of the three, to be honest. You take this just to get Astropath, so you get a 12-inch deep strike denial from him, but it is only from him, not his unit. So, I mean, if you continue to put him in the middle of a unit, the unit's going to be quite big, because the unit's going to have a command squad, probably an infantry squad. You're probably denying a range of 12 inches from him anyway, just by the other models being there and having a 9-inch deny. So it sounds really good, unless you stick him right on the edge of the unit, I guess. It's not really going to do much. But okay, interesting. They must join a command squad. Fine. And also the command squad can join an infantry squad. So, yeah, you can have quite a big blob, I guess. Ogryn Bodyguards. They're toughness 6 now, Ogryn. That's nice, isn't it? And 6 wounds. He's a bit of a chunky boy. But he does only have a 5-up save. Okay. Grenadier Gauntlet. Still a bit naff. Fine. D6 blast bolt gunshots. Ripper gun. I like the Ripper gun, though. Sustained hits 1, which is nice. 3 attacks. Jump 5, -1, 2 damage. I like the Ripper gun. It's like a big sort of mini heavy bolter thing, basically. It's basically a short-ranged heavy bolter, looking at it. Ball Green Maul. They're still good. Strength 7, -1, 2 damage. They're good now. 2 damage for them is better now, because not many things have -1 damage, so that's good. -1 AP as well is obviously good, because not many things have ways of reducing AP apart from Marines, and that's only our stratagem now, so that's good. The huge knife is nice as well. Ogryn Bodyguard, you get Feel No Pain of 6+. That's nice. While one or more officer models are in the same unit as this model, the officer gets Feel No Pain, because the bodyguard gets in the way. So that's nice. Redoubled Loyalty. While this model's unit contains an officer model that has lost 1 or more wounds, each time this model makes a melee attack, gets +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So if his officer is wounded, this guy gets more angry and starts hitting things more. So that's very nice, getting +1 hit and +1 wound on a Bogrin, or an Ogryn, sorry, in combat. Very nice. You can give him a brute shield and give him a 4+ invulnerable save, or you can give him a slab shield and give him an extra wound. I'm not sure how I feel about the slab shields. I quite like the fact that they gave Ogryn a 2+ save. Now they just give them an extra wound, which is okay, but 5-up save with just an extra wound. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, they can join command squads and things. Nork Dedog, the best bodyguard of them all. He gets devastating wounds on his huge knife. Other than that, it's still a huge knife. He gets a slightly better save and a better feel no pain. He still gives officers a 4 feel no pain, and he has a thunderous headbutt. He's got a very big head, this chap. Each time this model's unit is selected to fight, you can select one enemy unit within engagement range. Roll a dice, they can take some mortal wounds. Very nice. If you get a 6, they take even more mortal wounds. So that's nice. He gives someone a Glasgow kiss in the fight phase. Right. Infantry squad. These are your bog standard infantry with flexibility to have whatever weapons you want, basically. Special weapon and a heavy weapon and things. So that's very nice. They are defenders of humanity, and I thank them for it. Each time a ranged attack targets this unit, if it's in range of an objective marker, you get the benefit of cover. That is amazing, because that's exactly where you want these guys, sitting on objectives. Although benefits of cover is quite easy to get now anyway, but still, it's nice. Voxcaster, each time you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem, roll a dice. If there's one or more friendly officer models within 6 inches, which there should be, on a 5-up you get a CV back. That's nice. Obviously you can only gain 1 per battle round with that, but it's nice, a little CP farm. Very nice. Okie dokie. And then yeah, you can give them, you know, heavy weapons, special weapons, things like that. So that's good. 16 guardsmen. If every 10 models, you get Lasgun can be replaced with a special weapon. For every 10 models, you can get a Voxcaster. You can also get a heavy weapons team for every 10 models. So yeah, okay, that's all what you'd expect there. Canadian shot troopers. They're like infantry squads, but they're Canadians. They have something called shot troops. At the end of your command phase, if this unit is in range of an objective marker you control, that objective remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it. So essentially, these are like your intercessors. If you're thinking Space Marines, they have sticky objectives. That's nice. And again, they have the Voxcaster ability, so you can farm CP. Very nice. Deathcore Krieg. Grim Demeanor. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, get +1 to hit. If this unit is below its starting strength, if it's below half strength, then you get +1 to wound as well. So the more Kriegs you kill, the more they kill you back. Still got the Voxcaster ability, that's nice. And they get a medipack, so at the start of your command phase, if it's below starting strength, you can return to D3 destroy models. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so they're still quite cool. You can still get a few sort of weapon options and things as expected. Very nice. Kadachan Jungle Fighters. These guys got a well-needed buff because in the 9th edition codex they were pretty dire. For some reason they were more expensive than all the other infantry units, and they were actually the worst as well. So that wasn't that wasn't a good mixture. Okay, they now get Scout 6 inches. Very, very good. That's amazing already. The fact that you can pre-game move infantry, that's nice. And they're Jungle Fighters. Each time they make a melee attack, if you charged or were charged, improve the strength and AP by 1. Very nice. So you can get strength 4 guardsmen at AP 1 with their Katajan knives. Very nice. And let's not remember, if you got Strachan with these guys, they'll get lethal hits as well. And if you can tell them to fix bayonets, then they get +1 a hit. So or +1 weapon skill. So that's really good. Voxcaster ability, yeah, you still get your CP farm. But yeah, I like these guys now. Why didn't they have something like that in 9th? The Scouts, I like that. I like the Scouts. In fact, the Catachans are Scouts. I like that very much. Sly Marbo, it's Sylvester Stallone. He's got a Ripper pistol and an envenomed blade. Both of which are anti-infantry 2+, so they always wound infantry on 2s. Very nice. They also both have the precision keyword, so you can target characters with them if you so choose. His pistol will have 3 attacks hit on 2s, so 5 -1 2 damage, and his blade will have 5 attacks with exactly the same profile. Very nice. He is an infiltrator, so he can forward deploy. He's got lone operative, so unless you're within 12, you can't even shoot him. And he's -1 hit. If you can shoot him, he's got stealth. He is a one-man army. Yes, he is. You've got to make a 2,000 point list. even if you've got this guy, unfortunately, you still don't have to make up the rest of the list, but I'd advise it. But he could do it himself. But basically, his one-man army rule. Each time an enemy unit targets a friendly Astra Militarum unit within 3 inches of this model with ranged attacks after that enemy unit has finished making its attacks, this model can shoot as if it were your shooting phase. So basically, when an enemy unit targets a friendly unit within 3 inches of him, he can just shoot them. So that's nice. So if he's near a unit of your Catachans, for example, and your Catachans are getting shot at, he can shoot them back with his pistol. That's quite nice, isn't it? He is like fighting a shadow. Each time this model has shot, it can then move as not of engagement range. Not then able to declare a charge, but move, shoot, shoot, move, shoot, move is very handy, and it will definitely be like fighting a shadow. And of course, he's got the grenades keyword, which is interesting, so he can throw some grenades and do mortal wounds and things. That's nice. Slay Marvel. Okay, Kazrakin. Yeah, same stat line as before. Still got all the weapons. They still hit on 3s. They are the elite of the Cadians. They also get a scout move for 6 inches, so that's nice. What's really nice about Kazakins and Jungle Fighters getting scout moves, of course, is if you put them in Chimeras or Tauroxes, then your transport gets a scout move of 6 inches as well, which is very nice. Warrior Elite. In your command phase, you can select one order to affect this unit until the start of your next command phase, in addition to any other orders issued to this unit by an officer model this turn. So essentially, your officer can order it something if you want, and you can also order it yourself. So that's nice. They can effectively be ordered by you and an officer, and they can be ordered by both orders. So you can do first rank fire, second rank fire, and take aim. That's a nice little combination with hotshot lasguns and things. Although hotshot lasguns are now only AP1, not AP2. That's a bit bad and a bit sad, but most AP in this edition seems to be going down, so it's kind of to be expected, I guess. It's a bit annoying, but there we go. I suppose it's even more annoying because obviously in 9th, when you took aim, not only was it +1 hit, it was an extra AP, so effectively the hotshot lasguns have gone from AP3 down to AP1 when you think about things like that. But okay, they're still pretty good. Volkscaster, yeah, they get the same Volkscaster ability. I think most infantry squads seem to get that, which is nice. And they have a Melter Mine. Once per battle, you can select one unit within 3 inches of the barrel and roll 1 dice. On a 2-up, they take mortal wounds. Or 2d3 mortal wounds if it's a vehicle unit. So that's quite nice. And I think it's just once per battle at the start of any phase. So it could be the fight phase. Something's charged you, bang, take some mortal wounds. Brilliant. Regimental Preacher, the old priest. I still don't think he's as good as he was back in 8th, when you could just surround him with Bulgarians or Crusaders and give them nice little buffs and things. But okay, nice little handy character. War Hymns. While this model's leading a unit, melee weapons get sustained hits 1. Okay, that's nice. 6 is to hit. Generate an extra hit. And each time he makes an attack, unless this model's unit is battle shot, you can reroll the hit roll. I mean, that's fine. You can give him a power weapon, I guess. Give him a power sword, but okay, fine. What can he lead? Oh, just bog standard infantry who you don't really want in combat. I mean, I suppose you can chuck him with some Catachan Jungle Fighters, maybe. You can abstract him with one unit and this guy with another unit. Strakans would get lethal hits and the other one would get sustained hits, I guess. But yeah, okay. Sergeant Harker, he's toughness 4. He's tougher than Strachan. He's a big guy there, isn't he, Sergeant Harker? So that makes sense to me. He's got payback, which is essentially a heavy bolter, and he can hit on 3s with it. Very nice. That hasn't changed. Other than that, he's just got his standard combat weapon. He gets a feel no pain of 6+, which is nice. He can shrug things off. He also gets scout move, obviously, because he's a Gadachan, and he can lead a unit. Harker's Hellraisers. While this model is leading a unit, which will be Catachan Jungle Fighters, by the way, each time a ranged attack target that unit, if they're more than 12 inches away, they're -1 a hit. So his unit essentially has a stealth ability if they're more than 12 inches away from the opponent's shooting unit. So that's nice. He tells his guys to sort of hide behind the leaves. of the undergrowth, so that's nice. Payback time, once per battle, when he's set to shoot, you can use his ability. Payback then goes from attack 3 to attack 6, which is nice. Instead of getting sustained hits 1, you get sustained hits 3. So on every 6 hit, you get 3 extra hits. So once per battle, his heavy bolter really starts firing, which is nice. That's quite cool. I like that. Cool rules. A Regimental Engineer, aka Tech Priest. He's not going to kill much in combat, so I won't go through that. But while he's within 3 inches of a friendly Astra Militarum unit, Astra Militarum vehicle unit, sorry, he gets lone operative, so he can't be shot within 12. So same as tech marines and things. He gets the ominous blessing, so he, in command phase, he can heal a unit within 3 inches D3 wounds. He can also give that unit a 4+ invulnerable save. Yes, you could give a Rogal Dawn or a Baneblade a 4+ invulnerable save. Or your tank commander that you're using to buff all your other tanks. Give him an invulnerable save so he doesn't die as easily. Vengeance from the Messiah. If a vehicle dies within 12 inches of him, his axe gets a bit better. He gets 6 attacks instead of 3, but he's still not going to kill much. But okay, fine. He's not bad. I'll take one of him if I'm taking tanks. He can join units as well. But just have him standing around with your tanks at the back, to be honest. Militarum Servitors. Does anyone really care about these? No, I'll skip those. Commissar. Similar sort of stat line as before. Back to having an invulnerable save now, 5 up, so that's nice. They can issue 1 order to regiment units, but they can only issue duty and honour and fixed bayonets. So +1 weapon skill, or I think the other one was duty and honour. What was that? The objective control one and +1 to leadership or something? I think that was the one. Summary execution. Once per battle round at the start of any phase, you can select 1 Astra Militarum unit that's battle shot within 12, and then they're not a battle shot, so that's very nice. And while another officer model is in the same unit as this model, you can reroll battle shot tests taken for that unit. So that's nice as well. Okay, so moving on. What have we got next? Oh, who can he join? Commissars can join Gideon shots. Well, all the infantry squads, basically. So, yeah, that's cool. Okay. Ogren squads. Or Ogrins. Whatever you want to call them. As mentioned earlier, the Ripper gun's quite good now. It's basically like a short-ranged heavy bolter. I mean, it makes sense. Look at the size of it. Toughness 6, these guys with 3 wounds and a 5-up save. The save's a bit naff, but obviously with benefit of cover being so easy to get now, you can almost just say they've got a 4-up save. Yeah, they're quite chunky at toughness 6 as well. Like the saves may not be that great, but it's going to be difficult to wound these guys without proper sort of dedicated anti-tank fire almost. Your anti-infantry fire isn't really going to hurt these guys unless you start shooting plasma at them, and then you're shooting plasma at Ogrins and not, other things. They get a feel no pain of 6+ as well, which is nice. And every time they make a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible unit, you get an extra AP. So you're shooting the nearest thing with those Ripper guns, which you want to be doing anyway, because at half range you get an extra 3 shots. At 9 inches, these things pump out 6 shots, 6 heavy bolter shots at 9 inches. That's really good. You get an extra AP as well if you shoot the nearest target. So it's then 6 shots, hitting on 4s, so you're going to hit 3 times. But AP 2, damage 2 at strength 5, yeah, you're probably going to get a couple of wounds on a unit of Marines, and you'll probably drop at least one of them per Ogren. So if you get a full unit of Ogren shooting a unit of Intercessors, you're probably going to kill them. And if you're quite close, if you don't kill them, you can charge them and finish them off. So they're quite a good sort of close range shooting unit now, Ogrins, which is interesting. Bulgren squad, again T6 4-up save. 4-up save, yeah. Ogrins were 5-up. Bulgrins are at least a 4-up, and obviously in cover you get a 3-up, which is okay. That's not bad. As mentioned earlier, the Mauls are quite good. Again, they get a feel no pain of 6-up, which is nice. They also get -1 damage, which is amazing. Because it's quite rare now. So having something that's got toughness 6, 3 wounds, -1 damage, and a 6-up shrug. And obviously, if she's sticking in cover, then it's essentially a 3-up save, Toughness 6 with 3 wounds. And a 6 up feeling no pain and -1 damage. And obviously, if you give them slab shields, then you get 4 wounds per guy. So then your toughness 6 with 4 wounds, -1 damage, then the 6 up feel no pain. And obviously, you could get a 3 up save quite easily if you're in cover from ranged attacks. They could still be quite chonky. I'll have to see about these guys. I don't know. I'll have to play test and see how I get on with those. I really liked having the 2 up save from the slab shields and then like giving psychic barrier to give them an invul or something. But having a guy with 4 wounds and -1 damage and a 6 up shrug at toughness 6 and a 3+ saving cover, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. Rattling snipers. They can move 6 now. Their little feet can run a bit quicker. Toughness 2. I mean, yeah, they're rattlings. Their sniper rifles are good now, though. They get heavy. So if they stay still, they can hit on 2s now, because they hit on 3s normally. And obviously, if you're moving, you're hitting on 3s. Whereas before, if you moved, you're hitting on 4s. So that's better to start with. To get precision, obviously, it's a sniper rifle. Still strength 4, obviously. It's a sniper rifle. But AP 2 and damage 2. That's quite nice. That's not to be underestimated. Infiltrators, they can forward deploy. Stealth, they -1 to shoot at. Obviously, they're tiny. And shoot, sharp, and scarper, they've still got that, so they can move, shoot, move. So essentially, that's what you want to be doing every time. Okay, you're not going to get your +1 hit from your heavy, but you're still going to hit on 3s. You want to hide them behind terrain, move them into the terrain, shoot out of it, and then move them back behind it again, and just do that every turn. And turn after turn after turn of doing that, you will take down a character or 2 with these guys, if you're lucky. And that's essentially what they're to do. And they can really annoy your opponent and sort of make them think, oh, I don't want that unit running over there with my character because he could get sniped in the face, so I'll send my unit this way instead. So even if they don't kill anything, they can have an impact in terms of getting into the head of your opponent. So these guys are nice now with decent sniper rifles. They could do some damage. Attilan Rough Riders. Basically the same as the 4-2 wounds, toughness 4. That's not bad. Hunting lances are quite good. You get a couple of profiles with that. You get the Goad Lance, which is like the normal anti-infantry one, or you can do the Hunting Lance, which is the explosive one. You can have a frag or melter tip it. So I've tried with more attacks that are like bolter profiles, or just one attack at a melter profile, basically. So you can sort of choose what you want to do. I'd give them all the Hunting Lances to give more flexibility, I think. The Goad Lance is really good if all you're charging is Space Marines. Strength 6 -2 damage, and obviously the Lance, you get +1 to wound, but I would give them the Hunting Lance all day long. I would give them the Hunting Lance. Horse Masters, you can ignore any or all modifiers to this unit's move characteristic, advance, and charge rolls made for it. In addition, as you want to shoot and declare a charge when it falls back. So basically, you'll fall back. You don't care about shooting so much, but then you'll charge again to get your Lance +1 to wound again. So that's quite nice. That is certainly a good ability for them to have. That's nice. Scout Sentinels. Oh, one of my favourite guard units, and it's still really good. They are now moving to 10 instead of 12, but 12 was a bit ridiculous, so 10 is fine. Thank you, that's fine. Toughness 7, 7 wounds. With a 3-up save! A 3-up save on Scout Sentinels. What is going on? That's really good. The weapon profiles are to be expected. I mean, mine all have heavy flamers, just because why not? Because they're catch-hands, but they're all quite good. Plasma cannon's a good one. Missile launcher's a good one. Have these guys running around with las cannons? I mean, that'd be fun. Sentinel Chainsword has gone down a bit of an AP and a bit of damage, but I mean, it's still okay. 3 attacks, hitting on 4, so 6 -1 damage. They get the regiment and the squadron keyword, so you can order them with tank commanders or your normal officers. So that's really nice. So you can also tell them to fix bayonets if you want to hit on 3s with your chainsword, or tell them to take aim, or tell them to get extra movement, or whatever you want them to do. So that's good. They get a scout moving 9 inches now, instead of infiltrating, but scout moving 9 inches is arguably better or about the same, I think. You can infiltrate, you have to be 9 inches away from their deployment zone. Now you get a 9-inch pre-game move. It's about the same, except for they can't really counter-deploy you or anything like that. So it's just as good. Scout move 9 inches followed by a 10-inch move. And if you go first, you get in a 19-inch move. Yeah. I would still run 3 units of one of these and just run them around and be a nuisance. Especially now with toughness 7 wounds and a threat save. Yep. And they got smoke as well. So that's nice. At the start of your shooting phase, you select one enemy unit of an 18 inches invisible to this unit till the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Astra Militarum model makes a ranged attack against that unit, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. So that's essentially, in your shooting phase, you pick one enemy unit one of these guys can see, and everything that shoots at gets reroll hit rolls of 1. I mean, that's really nice, isn't it? If it also has the indirect fire ability, it does not suffer the penalty to the hit roll for shooting at a target that is not visible to it. So you can ignore the indirect fire nerf with Scout Sentinels as well. Except for the benefit of cover thing, but like I said, cover's so easy to get now, yeah. You can have benefit of cover indirect, because you get benefit of cover and shooting your direct half the time anyway now. As long as you actually use the terrain and hide behind it or in it and things. So rerolling hit rolls of 1 against a particular unit. And this is for each Scout Sentinel. So if you've got 3 units to these guys, you can point at 3 different units and everything reroll hit rolls of 1 against them. That's really nice. And obviously ignore the -1 hit for indirect fire. It's really nice. So you can have a few of these and you can run them forwards 1 turn at a time. So the first turn you run one of them forwards, see something, right, let's indirect fire that. Next turn, run your second one forwards. You can use them 1 at a time rather than flying them all forwards. I think that would be really good. A good way to help your artillery, which not only won't be getting the -1 hit, it'll be rerolling hit rolls of 1. And if your artillery stays still, which it will because it's artillery, then you get 6 to steel auto wound. And most of the artillery also have the heavy keywords, then you're getting +1 to hit. And then you can take aim, so you get +1 ballistic skill. Combination of Scout Sentinels and Tank Commanders, you can get artillery essentially hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Which is just amazing. Amazing! Armoured Sentinels. Toughness 8 with a 2-up save. Oh, they're like mini dreadnoughts. It's brilliant. It's a beautiful thing. Mobile Hunter Killers. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets a monster or a vehicle, you can reroll the wounds. Right, give these guys las cannons and hunter killer missiles and just make them your little quick, annoying anti-tank things running around and give them take aim so they're hitting on 3s. Glorious. The Hellhound. Toughness 10 with a 2-up save on a Hellhound. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, weapon profiles here have changed a little bit. The Chem Cannon is still your anti-infantry one, but with a shorter range, so 12 inches, but wounds infantry on 2s. Very nice. Other than that, it's only strength 2, so you shoot at infantry. -2 damage, d6 +1 hits. Yes, hits, not attacks, hits, because it also hits. So that's quite nice at clearing up Marines. It's got an Inferno Cannon, which ignores cover, which is very nice. 18 inches, 2d6 attacks or hits. That's 6 -2, so that's also quite nice. It's got a Melter Cannon, which is Blast and Melter 4. Melter 4! So at half range, you get an extra 4 damage with your D3 attacks with the Blast profile. I'm not sure how Blast is really going to help because you're going to be wanting to target tanks with it. But I guess if you're shooting a unit of Terminators, D3 +1 and maybe attacks. And it'll be, if it's in half range, d6 +4 damage. I mean, that's just killing Terminators like nothing else. With Storm Shields or no Storm Shields. Strength 9 -4 AP. Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Flush them out is quite nice after it's shot at something. So it's been hit by one or more of those attacks, which it will be because pretty much everything auto hits. That unit can have the benefit of cover, so you can combine Hellhounds and Scout Sentinels to really make your artillery sing. Because you cannot suffer the -1 hit because you use Scout Sentinels, and then they won't get the benefit of cover at all because you've burnt them with a Chem Cannon or an Inferno Cannon or something. So that's really nice. But yeah, okay, that's quite nice. Interesting, you can only have one per unit now. But 2-up save on a Hellhound, that's interesting. Okay. A Redoubled battle tank. Toughness 12, which is amazing. Las cannons are winning up on 4s. That's amazing, because las cannons are, you know, the most common decent anti-tank weapon now. 2-up save, 18 wounds. Lovely jubbly. It's got lots of good guns. The autocannons are really nice now, being flat 3 damage. And strength 9 as well, that's really nice. The Oppressor Cannon, which is like the mini Bane Blade cannon type thing, D6 plus 3. Strength 12 minus 2, 3 damage. Again, that's very nice. Pulverizer Cannon, which is like the mini Demolisher Cannon. It's just like a mini Demolisher Cannon, but instead of D6 damage, it's flat 3, which is nice. Then you've got a Twin Battle Cannon, which is like a battle cannon, but gives you twin linked. So I wouldn't bother with that. I'd have an Oppressor Cannon with a Coaxial Auto Cannon. Thank you very much. And then I'll maybe get the Pulverizer Cannon as well, because the Gatling Cannon's nice, but it's got no AP. So yeah, I'd have the Oppressor and the Pulverizer Cannons, please. Thank you very much. And I'll probably give it all the melter, and then tell it to take aim, and you're hitting on freeze. Oh yeah! Once per battle, you can make an attack. Damage 0. An attack is allocated to this model. So basically, you fail a save, you can go, yeah, that one that's like flat 6 damage, yeah, damage 0. Thank you very much. That's cool. That's very cool. Heavy weapons squads. These are your dudes with heavy weapons. Not really much to say here, except for most things are hitting on 5s, but also most things have heavy, so you're hitting on 4s if you stay still. Covering fire is a nice ability though. Each time you target this unit with a fire stratagem, you'll hit things on 5s instead of 6s. Or if you're near a platoon unit, you hit on 4s. So these are sort of a nice little Overwatch unit, I guess. That's about it, really. Or maybe some cheap las cannons. But yeah, okay. Field Not Ordnance Battery. Toughness 5, 4-up save, 6 wounds. These are still fairly resilient for what they are. I still like the Bombast Cannon, like a mini Basilisk gun. Blast heavy, indirect fire. D6 shots each, so you get 2d6 for a unit of them. It's heavy, so you can go to hit on 4s instead of 5s. And with take aims, you can make it on 3s. Strength 7 minus 1, 2 damage. That's nice. Heavy las cannon is strength 14. Other than that, it's the same with a normal las cannon. So I mean, it's got 2 shots each, I guess. So you'd have 4 shots for a unit, which is nice. But yeah, I'd probably go with the Bombast Field Gun or Indirect Fire. Can't go wrong with Indirect Fire, I think, with Guard in this edition. Rearm, reload, and fire. While this unit is being affected by an order, provided it remains stationary, all its heavy weapons, which is all of them apart from the las guns, you don't care about those, all have sustained hits 1. So that's nice. A Lehman Russ battle tank. This is the standard one with the battle cannon. They all get slightly different profiles now. Not in terms of the weapons or the data sheet, the characteristics, but what changes is obviously the turret weapon they have, and then the abilities. They've all got slightly different abilities. So this is a standard one with the battle cannon, but they're all toughness 11 with a 2-up save and 13 wounds. Same as a tank commander. Very nice. Battle cannon, yeah, they're okay now, but only AP 1's a bit naff, basically. But D6 plus 3 shots, and the new blast. Strength 10 is nice, and flat 3 damage. But yeah, AP 1's pretty pants, because cover's really easy to get now. And there's no real way to increase that AP unless you want to spend 2 CP on that strat from earlier. Was it Overlapping Fields of Fire or whatever it's called? So yeah, they're okay. They're okay. Armoured Spearhead, though. Each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. If that unit is in range of an objective marker that you don't control yourself, you can just reroll all the hits. So you almost want to spam as many shots as you can out of these Nord tanks. So the battleground's quite nice because you get D6 plus 3 in its blast. I would chuck it a load of heavy bolters as well with sustained hits and just try and get as many shots as you can at AP1. And just shoot something that's on the objective and not in cover. But yeah, I mean, they're okay. They're not amazing. The Leman Russ Demolisher. Now this, you're going to see these back. And back will they be. Demolish Cannon is Blast, which is better now because Blast is better now. You get +1 hits for, or +1 attack, sorry, for every 5 models in the enemy unit. But do you want to shoot Demolish Cannon at infantry? Maybe, but what you really want to shoot it at are enemy tanks. It now has D6 plus 3 attacks rather than D6. It's a lot less swingy. Strength 14. 14. At -3 D6 damage. Yeah, this is your anti-tank weapon. I have one of these with multi-melters on it as well. To take aim and just to point at an enemy vehicle and just watch it blow it to pieces. With lots of high strength, high AP, high damage weaponry. Yeah. Line breaker. It can target things with its demolish cannon even if they're within engagement range. It doesn't suffer penalty to hit rolls when it's shooting things within engagement range. So basically you just can't tie it up. It can shoot out of combat, it's a vehicle, or it can just shoot everything into combat if it really wants to, at no minuses to hit. So that's nice. Very nice. A Leman Russ Vanquisher. Okay, same profile. Vanquish cannon's changed a bit though. It's got heavy, which is nice because I don't think many of the other turret weapons do have heavy. Which means if you stay still, you're hitting on 3s, and if you take aim, you're then hitting on 2s with a Vanquish cannon, which is nice because you got one shot. But it is strength 18, so your light vehicles you're winning on 2s. Every other vehicle you're hitting winning on 3s basically. So if you hit, you're going to wound it. -4 if it's got an invulnerable save, it's not going to have a save, and it's D6 plus 6 damage. Very nice. Each time this model makes a ranged attack, if it's against a monster or vehicle, you can reroll the wounds. So basically, if you hit, you are going to wound. So you just make sure you hit, basically. I mean, you can almost think, you know what, this guy I'm going to put somewhere in the open where it's got a nice range of fire. Okay, yes, it can get shot at, but that means if I survive, I'm getting +1 hit with my heavy weapon on my Vanquisher. With great risk comes great reward, I think, with Vanquisher tanks. Because you really want to be getting that +1 hit. And also, you get your born soldiers, and if you're getting your +1 hit, because you remain stationary, so you'll be hitting on 3s or 2s if you order them to take aim. And then if you hit on a 6, it's also wounding as well. But you don't care about that so much because you're rerolling wounds against vehicles and monsters anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting choice now. It's not as ridiculous as it was in 9th, but it's still a very, very good anti-tank shot. Leman Russ Punisher with the Punisher Gatling Cannon. It's got 20 shots, that's strength 6, but no AP and 1 damage. Okay. Mow down the enemy though. Each time this model makes an attack with its Punisher Gatling Cannon, if it targets something that's not a monster or a vehicle, it's got devastating wounds. So you're fishing for 6s on your wound rolls with these things, basically, with your big Gatling gun. It's essentially the same as the heavy onslaught and Gatling cannon now, but with just more shots. Basically. When you're shooting infantry. So, I mean, it's not bad, but okay. Okay. Leman Russ Executioner. This one's quite interesting. It's got the plasma, which is nice. Get the high AP, high number of shots, high damage. That's what you want. Obviously, they're hazardous, but yeah, fine. Gung-Ho Executioners. Each time this model makes an attack with its Executioner plasma cannon that targets enemy units below half strength, get +1 to hit. So you use this gun to finish off a unit, and you're then hitting on 3s. And if you take an aim, it's hitting on 2s. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Limos Exterminator. This one's quite good. Autocannons are good now. They're damage free, which is nice. You get 4 shots, but it's a rapid fire 4. So if you're within 24 inches, you're getting 8 shots, which is very nice. And it's twin linked, so you can reroll the wounds, which is very nice as well. Strength 9, -1, flat 3 damage. Autocannon's a decent option now. They used to be like, well, you know, missile launchers are better, or las cannons are better, or You know, if you just want something with damage 2, just take heavy bolters. I think they're quite an interesting choice now. Autocannons in general. Strength 9 is nice. Okay, Withering Hail. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, so that one enemy unit has been hit by one more of those attacks with its autocannon. Until the end of phase, every time you shoot something else at it, you get an extra AP. So this is also a way of getting extra AP without using that strat. Shoot it at one of these first, and anything else that shoots and gets an extra AP. So that's very, very nice. So you can have one of these and then a normal battle cannon tank. You shoot this first, then you Lehman Russ battle cannon, so it becomes AP2, which is nice. Okay. Lehman Russ Eradicator with its Eradicator Nova cannon. It's blast, which is nice, especially when it's D3 plus 6. That very easily becomes D3 plus 7 or D3 plus 8 because of blast. It ignores cover as well, which is very nice because it's very easy to get cover these days. So that's basically like giving it an extra AP, which is useful because it's only AP 1. But it does get lots of shots. It is strength 7, it is damage 2, so it's definitely a marine killer. This is what you use to kill infantry in cover. Urban Warfare. When making ranged attacks with its Nova Cannon, this model can target enemy units within engagement range of it, and you do not suffer the penalty to hit rolls. So similar to the Demolisher, essentially. You can shoot its blast cannon into combat without the minuses to hit. So again, you don't really want to be charging these tanks unless you're going to kill them. So that's nice. Okay. The Basilisk. Let's get on to the artillery. Toughness 9. That's fine for a Basilisk. It's not going to be seen anyway. Frip save, wins 11. Okay, very nice. Earthshaker cannon. It's got blast. It's got heavy, which is amazing because it's going to be sitting still the entire game. So you're hitting on freeze. Indirect fire back to hitting on 4s. But if you get away with ignoring that, you're still hitting on freeze, and you can take aim as well to get an additional +1 a hit. So you can go to Ballistic Skill 3 with +1 a hit for heavy. So you're hitting on 2s. If you then take an indirect fire, now if you're still hitting on freeze with indirect fire, which is very, very tasty. It's got D6 plus 3 attacks. That's fine. That's nice. Strength 8. That's fine. AP2, 2 damage. This is what you use to shell enemy infantry to pieces. They have infantry sitting on their home objective. Not for long. Earthshaker rounds in your shooting phase after it's shot. If it's been hit by the Earthshaker cannon against an enemy infantry unit, which is what you're going to shoot at with it, while a unit is shaken, subtract 2 from its move characteristic and 2 from advancing charge rolls. Made for it. So that's nice. So you can slow enemy infantry down as well as blow it to bits. Very nice. You can either shell enemy infantry on the home objective, that's not going to move, or if there's something scary running towards you, like a unit of Blight Lord Terminators, slow them down. Just slow them down. Slow them down. The Hydra. Cut off one head and many replace it. Same sort of profile as a Basilisk. The Hydra autocannon now has 4 shots. That's nice. Does it have 2 of them, or does it have 1? 1 Hydro autocannon. Okay, so it just has just 4 shots now, not 8. But it is anti-fly 2+, and it's twin linked, so you're winning flies on 2s, which is very nice. And you can roll wounds. 4 attacks, strength 9, -3, -1 free damage. So it's just autocannon profile essentially, but with anti-fly and twin linked. So okay, not bad, not bad. Flak battery. Each time it shoots something with a fly keyword, you can roll the hit roll. So it's nice. It's not just anti-aircraft, it's anything that's fly. So drones as well, land speeders, jump infantry, anything that's got the fly keyword, you're rerolling hits and wounding on 2s. So it's actually quite good. Lots of things will have fly. Manticore. Toughness 10, so it's tougher than a Basilisk and a Hydra. Okay, right. Storm Eagle rockets. They are blast. They are heavy and they have indirect fire. They get D6 +1 hits standard. With blast, you can easily get that at D6 +2 or D6 +3, so that's nice. They are strength 10, -2, a free damage. They are back to being full payload Manticores of 8th edition. Oh, hallelujah. They also get heavy, so you can easily get them to hit on 3s and would take aim, hit on 2s, which is very nice, very nice. Furious Barrage. Each time this model makes an attack with its Storm Eagle rockets, if they contain 5 or more models, you can reroll the hits. You want to target with something that's got 5 or more models as well to get more attacks because of blast. So you're going to get lots and lots of attacks, and you'll be rerolling all the hits. And it's strength 10, so you're winning most infantry on 2s at -2, 3 damage. Oh yes! And do you want to know something even better about Manticores now? They're just equipped with Storm Eagle rockets. Not 4 rockets, and each one can only be shot once per game. They can shoot every turn now. 5 Storm Eagle rockets. Boom! Take that. Enemies of the Imperium. The Wyvern. Why would you take a Wyvern? I don't know. But they're not bad. Let's have a look, see how they've changed. They have the quad Storm Shard Mortar, which is obviously blast. It's heavy, it's indirect fire, it's twin linked. But it also ignores cover, which is one reason to take them, I guess. Because it has no AP, so okay. So ignoring cover isn't really going to help you anyway, unless you're attacking weak infantry, which is pretty much the only thing it can kill. At strength 5 and 2d6 shots and no AP and 1 damage. But it does have something called Suppression Bombardment. So if you hit something that was not a monster or a vehicle, until the start of your next turn, that enemy is suppressed. While it's suppressed, they're -1 to hit. There's a strat which does that. I think it was only 1 CP. I'd rather do that than spend the points on one of these. If you want to shell something on a back objective, take a Basilisk. Take a Manticore. Why would you take a Vern? Don't know. If you know the reason why, please comment below, because I just cannot see the point. Death Strikes. Oh, what are these things like now? Because these were lethal. You get 1 shot. It's 2d6 shots. It hits on 2s. Okay. Blast, 1 shot, plasma warhead. Okay, so it's blast. So 2d6, you can easily get it to 2d6 plus 1, or 2d6 plus 2, and so on. Hit on 2s, it's jump 16 -4, which is amazing, but it is just one damage. But it has got lots of shots at high strength, at high AP, hit on 2s, so okay. Bearer can only shoot with this weapon in your shooting phase, and only if it remains stationary this turn. And you do not use the Death Strike ability to designate target or just target its phase. Okay. When the bearer shoots with this weapon, do not select the target. Instead, resolve this weapon's attacks rolling for each unit within 6 inches of the center of that target. Every unit within 6 inches of the center of that target. Okay, so this is going to affect anything within a big area, essentially, having 2d6 blast shots on every unit, hitting on 2s. That's from 16 -4. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, although it is only with damage 1, but just the sheer number of attacks you'll be getting is going to be good. In your shooting phase, in your shooting phase, each time this model is shoot, if it is not shot with its missile, you can do one of the following. Designate target. If this model does not have a Death Strike target marker on the battlefield, place one. If it does have a Death Strike target marker on the battlefield, you can move it. So yeah, in the shooting phase, you still get to place your marker down and move it around. Then when you're happy with where it is and you want to do some damage, then you launch your warhead. For you once per game, bada boom. And yeah, if you put it in the right place, like the middle of the board near an objective with a 6-inch radius, if they send some, they're either going to ignore that objective, which is what you want them to do, or they'll run towards it, and then they'll get hit 2d6 blast times per unit within 6 inches on 2s. That's for 16 -4 AP. Yeah, that could do some damage. Right, Chimeras. Toughness 9, okay. 3+ save. Okay, so they're essentially a rhino. Interesting though, because Hellhound's at a 2+ save, even though it's the same chassis. Apparently the Imperium cares more about flame tanks than it does its infantry. Who'd have thought it? In terms of weapon loadout, nothing major here. Multi-lasers have lost a bit of AP. Obviously they don't get turret weapon anymore, so they only have 4s, but okay, that's fine. You do get Fire on Deck 2 out of this, which is nice. So you could Get a heavy weapon team in the back, which is nice, and move it around shooting las cannons at things. And it's also a mobile command vehicle. So in your command phase, one officer model embarked within this transport can issue orders even though it is not on the battlefield. When doing so, measure distances to and from this transport. Okay, so yes, that is the Chimera. Sorry if you heard that noise a moment ago. Someone decided to get a chainsaw out over the road. So that was that was fun. Transport capacity, still 12 models, which is nice. It means you can get, you know, an infantry squad with an officer and things, which is nice. So that's good. Taurox, toughness 8, so not quite as tough as a Chimera. Taurox, yeah, so auto cannons again. I like auto cannons now. 2 shots, twin link, that's nice. Flat 3 damage. Rapid deployment though is what makes Tauroxes good. Units can disembark from this even if it's not after it's advanced, not just after it's moved. So that's good. So you can zoom these forward with a nice advance roll, then disembark. So you can get a unit very far up the board if you really want to, which is nice. So these are good. They can transport 12 models as well now, rather than 10, which again is nice. You can get an infantry squad and a character and things like that. So that's cool. That's Taurox. The Valkyrie, the charge of the Valkyries. It's a flyer. It's toughness 10 with a top save for a flyer. It's quite a durable little flyer here. You've almost got a flying Lehman Russ, really, almost. You can hover it if you want to. It's got Hellstrike missiles, which are pretty cool for killing other flyers. Strength 10 minus 3 d6 damage and anti-fly of 2+. You can give it heavy bolsters, which are nice. You can give it a las cannon, which is nice. So yeah, it has grab shoot insertion. So at the end of your opponent's movement phase, one or more units from the transport can disembark, provided every model in each of those disembarking units has the deep strike ability. So essentially, you can deep strike scions from Valkyries at the end of your opponent's movement phase, which is nice. And you can fit 12 in this as well, which is nice. Cool. Okay. The Aegis defense line. Okay, I've heard some silly, crazy things about this. Let's have a look. It's toughness 12 with top save and 10 wounds. Okay, so it's quite tough. I mean, it is a wall. Emplacement platform. Friendly infantry can be set up on top of it. Okay. Each time a ranged attack is allocated to a model, if that model is not fully visible because of the fortification, you get the benefit of cover. Okay, so it's like terrain. Nice. Defense line, while an infantry model is getting the benefit of cover, it gets a 4+ invulnerable save. Okay, nice. So you can give your Borgrins a 4+ invulnerable save if they're in a defense line. While an enemy unit is only within engagement range of one or more fortifications from your hang on. While an enemy unit is only within engagement range of one or more fortifications from your army. Okay, that unit can still be shot at. Okay, right. But it's -1 to hit. And things can fall back as normal because it's a wall. Okay, right. I don't see what the problem is there, really. It enables you to get infantry with a 4+ invulnerable save and cover. Other than that, it doesn't really do much. Okay, fine. The Baneblade and all its variants. They are toughness 13, which is amazing. They have a top save and 24 wounds. Hilarious. You get the Baneblade cannon, which is 3d6 shots and blasts, so you can easily get up to 3d6 +1, 3d6 +2, and so on. It doesn't have the squadron keyword, so you can't give it take aim, unfortunately. Although I think you can with Lord Solar, because you can just order any guard unit. So, okay. But strength 12 -2, 3 damage, very nice. It's got an auto cannon as well, very nice. It's got a demolish cannon as well, very nice. It's got all the guns, very nice. It's a rolling fortress. Essentially, it's treated as terrain. if there's an Astra Militarum model from your army that's not fully visible because of this Baneblade, it gets the benefit of cover. Note it says Astra Militarum model, not just infantry. So you've got a tank that's partially obscured by your Baneblade, it will get the benefit of cover. That's hilarious. Okay. Banehammer, I mean these are all sort of variants of the same chassis essentially. What's this one got? The Tremor Cannon. That looks pretty good. I'm not going to go through all the Baneblade variants, but some of them look pretty interesting. 2d6 plus 3 shots at 12 minus 2, 3 damage. You can give infantry units battle shock tests. The Bane Sword with a Quake Cannon. It ignores cover with lots of shots, lots of strength, lots of OP, lots of damage. If it destroys something that's got deadly demise, it's more of a deadly demise than it was. So it's a big bada-boom. The Doom Hammer, it's a big melter cannon at melter 6. Oh my god, within 12 inches that'll be d6 plus 6 damage. That's, yes, close range Titan killer. Yes, it is pretty much. This one's also got a fire index of 12, which is interesting. Do all of them have fire index? Bane Hammer does. Baneblade doesn't. The Bane Hammer does. Ooh. Bane Sword doesn't. Doom Hammer does. Fire index of 12. That's nice. So 12 things can shoot out of this. Have your Kazakin riding around in it, shooting stuff. That'd be cool. Yeah, close range Titan killer. Each time this model's magma cannon targets an enemy monster or vehicle, it's always considered to be within half range. Which means you're in melter range all the time. That's hilarious. Okay. And it can carry 26 Astra Militarum infantry as well. That's hilarious. The Hellhammer. The Hellhammer cannon. It's got blast, it ignores cover. It's 4d6 shots. Strength 7 minus 1, 2 damage. Okay, so it's like a big Nova cannon, basically. You can shoot things with an engagement range without the penalty. That's nice. Shadow Sword, this is the one with the big volcano cannon. It's D3 plus 1 shots and it's blast, but you're going to be shooting it at big things, so you don't really care about blast. It's heavy, so if you stay still you will get plus 1 to hit. Perfect. Strength 24, minus 5 AP, 12 damage a shot. When it shoots against a monster or vehicle, it has devastating wounds. So if you wound on a 6, it's just 12 mortal wounds straight off the bat. That's hilarious. Stormlord, this is the one with a mega bolter. 20 heavy bolter shots with sustained hits. And strength 6, minus 1, 2 damage. Yep, that's going to chew for infantry. It's got a 24 firing deck. Oh my god. Oh my god. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, if there are no enemy models embarked within this transport, you can select one infantry unit and they can jump inside the transport. At the end of the enemy's movement phase. That's just hilarious. It can transport 40 models. Oh my days. The Storm Sword has a siege cannon. It's blasted, it ignores cover. It's lots of shots, lots of jump, lots of BP, lots of damage. Very nice. Concussive Wave. In your shooting phase, just after selecting a target for this model's siege cannon, or a dice for that target unit and every other unit within 3 inches of that unit. On a 5+, that unit has been struck by a concussive wave. And they take mortal wounds. Oh, very nice. Okay, so they've got like mortal wound aura for things that you hit and things around them. That's nice. Oh, we're getting on to Scions now. Okay. I was wondering where these guys were. Tempestus Scion Command Squad. Scions still hit things on freeze. Very nice. Good. They still get Deep Strike. Good. Tempesta Prime. Give things exploding 6s to hit. Very nice. You get the Medipack on this regimental standard. They do the same as for the normal Guard Command Squad. Same as the Master Vox. He also has a Command Rod, which means while he's leading a unit, that unit can be affected by up to 2 different orders at the same time, which is fantastic, but he can only issue 1 order himself. So you have to give him an enhancement to really make use of his Command Rod to get a 2nd order. But okay. So that's not bad. It can be attached to scions, of course it can. It's a scion command squad, and here are some scions. Same sort of weapons as the Kazakin, they can deep strike. Each time they make an attack there, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. If the target's from range of an objective marker, you can just reroll all the hits. So that's nice, that's a thing. And then you've got the Voxcaster ability as well, so you can get CPs. So, okay, nothing amazing, but okay, interesting. Taurox Prime, same as an all Taurox, but better ballistic skill and better weapon choices. You can have a Taurox Battle Cannon, which is like a normal battle cannon, but 1 less damage, and less strength, and less attacks. So it's like a worse battle cannon. You can have a Gatling Cannon, which just puts out 12 bolter shots. Or you can have a missile launcher, which is very nice. A twin missile launcher, basically. So, okay, that's fine. You can also give it the auto cannon and the volley gun if you wanted to as well. Okay. Fire support in your shooting phase after this model has shot. Select one enemy unit that's hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport attacks that enemy unit, you can reroll the wounds. So you get your scions out, you shoot your Taurox at them first, and then afterwards your scions shoot them, rerolling hits because they're scions, and rerolling wounds because they got out the Taurox. That's a nice little combo there. I like that. That's cool. And then we've got some guns and things down here. Okay, so that's it for the Guard. I mean, it's certainly an interesting index. Some units are a bit underwhelming. I think the stars of this index, though, are certainly the artillery, to make use of that Born Soldiers, plus the Take Aim. And there are units which enable the artillery to be better, like Scout Sentinels and Hellhounds. Hellhounds look interesting. But yes, certainly some interesting options here. I'm not sure about Borgwins, now the slab shields don't give them a tilt save. I'll have to see how that works now. But having extra wounds and shrugs and -1 damage, they could still be quite as tanky. But yeah, I think 10th is going to be the artillery edition for the Guard, at least while their index is out. But take aim, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.